Doma Sports Talk, worldwide, with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, talk welterweights. Let's talk a little bit Amir Khan, right? Y'all know what time it is when I talk about Amir Khan. Normally, it's like whatever. Him, Adrian Broner, and Tyson Fury. They all doing something right now. So we'll leave the whatever out. Let's talk boxing with these guys. Now, Khan's been in the news of late because he has two options to fight. He has the Brook fight, that's big in England, and he has the Terence Crawford fight, that's also a big fight. Pros and cons for both fights. Pros and cons. All right? The pros to fighting Brook, right? He want to fight Brook. Well, this is an English dust-up, right? And it's been going on for the longest. England would be there. It would even be pay-per-view in England, which we've seen anything pay-per-view for England. England just had Chisora and Dillian White pay-per-view. They're about to pay-per-view James DeGale and Chris Eubank Jr., right? So, you can pay-per-view. I told you, England, a pay-per-view Nigel Benn Sr. versus Chris Eubank Sr. Mess around right there. England's in the boxing. It's simple. It's just, big boxing community. So it'll be a big fight in England. They probably could fill up a stadium or something in England, Brook and Amir Khan. So that's probably why he should do that fight. Another reason is, too, because, Khan is the one who's recognized as the one who has been in the way of that Brook fight for the whole time. For different reasons, for different years. It's been at least 5 years. And Khan has been the problem most of the time, right? And now Khan wants the fight to be at 147, which Brook is basically, having problems making 147. Everyone knows that, Khan himself too. But he knows Brook is having more problems making the weight, so he wanted to make sure it's at 147. Brook agreed to that, even though it's a problem for him making 147. Then he asked him to, have a rehydration clause where the next day weigh-in, he can only gain 10 pounds. Right? And Brook didn't want to agree to that, but he even did that. So Brook has agreed to everything, and now Khan is going to maybe fight someone else. So that's a bad look in that aspect. But now you're looking about the pros of fighting Terence Crawford looking from Amir Khan's perspective. Listen, Terence Crawford is basically #1 pound for pound in the world for everybody who got some sense. Right? If you don't have anything else in blocking your mind, Terence Crawford should be #1 pound for pound. It should not be Lomachenko, because Lomachenko is 12-1. And what we're doing with Lomachenko, soon we start talking about him, we start talking about his amateur career. Was so, he's a 2-time Olympian in his amateur career. But we seem to fail to do that when we're talking about Guillermo Rigondeaux, who was also a 2-time gold medal winner and had pretty much a comparable record. He's also an amateur legend, but we forget that when we talk about him, right? So we can't see what Lomachenko is going to do in the future. Like, oh, he could be this, he could possibly be this. As of right now, he's 12-1 and lost to a guy with 13 losses. So that would mean, and then he's been dominant in most fights, but not all. Linares had him on the ground. So therefore, you should be in the top 10 pound for pound, but not like #1. If everybody's hell bent on him being #1, right? When you talk to the people that are in the that have something to say in boxing, and we know why that is. Terence Crawford should be #1 because he was undisputed at 140 pounds, right? Period. Undisputed should help you be #1. But okay, so he would get a lot of props for beating a Terence Crawford, right? And as of right now, even Amir Khan can look at this as like, listen, Terence Crawford came from 140, actually came from 135 pounds. Khan came from 140 himself, but he's been at 147 for a long time. He doesn't fear that Terence Crawford is just going to seek and destroy when it comes to him. Amir Khan he's been in America long enough with fights to know how fighters of color are treated. You could actually go into this fight and just look good, and you're going to get props. Imagine if Amir Khan gets knocked out late, right? Gets knocked out late or loses a decision to Terence Crawford. He's good. That won't be the same with Brook. But with a Terence Crawford, he has all to gain here, all to win. We saw with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury did not win that fight. He perceived as a bigger guy and, longer and all that guy. Came in here, jabbed a few times. I would encourage people to look at some highlights for that fight and see you'll have 2 or 3 Tyson Fury highlights. Was enough for him to be perceived as this huge thing to happen, right? The champion had him on the ground twice, and basically through harder jabs, Tyson Fury's face was more messed up at the end of the fight. Still perceived, right? So there you have it. That's what Khan has seen things like this in the past, right? And he knows that he can go into this fight with Terence Crawford and have a good showing, and he'll be okay. And he feels that the Kell Brook fight is going to still be there. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the case. I know if that is the case anytime later this year or something like that, then it's going to probably have to be at 154, because Kell Brook is being called out by 154 pounders, and he seems to want to go there to handle that business in 154. So it'll be a problem. But I have no doubt why Amir Khan would rather take Terence Crawford than Kell Brook at this particular time. This is an opportunity for him to fight Terence Crawford. So that's what he's probably going to do. Now, they're supposed to be fighting in April, on April 20th at Madison Square Gardens, but it's not confirmed. Right? But they are negotiating, but it's not confirmed. And that's the promoter from Terence Crawford is Bob Arum, and Bob Arum has just stated it's not confirmed. He would like to have the fight. He would love to promote it, but they're just working on it at this point. But like I'm telling you guys right now, I think Amir Khan will fight Terence Crawford, even if it's for a little bit less money than Kell Brook, because he has more to gain in that fight, universally, right, internationally. He has more to gain in that fight than with the Kell Brook fight, right? First of all, not only pound for pound title, it's a WBO title, and Khan's first title that he can get at 147 pounds. So there you have it. I think it's almost close to a no-brainer at this point. So unfortunately for the Khan-Brook fight, let's see what happens with that in the future. But I think that this fight, even though it's not confirmed, I think Khan will fight Terence Crawford if at all possible. Let's see what's up. Dome Sports Talk worldwide, and I'm about to hear y'all.